Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings review starts now. Okay, I'm going to break this video down into two things, the good and the bad. There's a lot more good than bad, but there was something that I didn't like, but we're going to start off with the good first. Number one, the action in this movie reminded me of like an anime, which is great. And I wish more movies would be like it, and especially the way the scene where the father is fighting the mother with the wind and the leaves. It reminded me of Avatar, the way they were dancing, the movement, and how everything was. It was amazing. And one of the best parts of this movie was the storytelling. The storytelling was top notch. You understood everybody's motivations and how they weaved into the story, how they went back and forth from the present to the past was really good. Probably one of the best I've ever seen in a movie, to be general, not just comic book movies, in movies in general. And that's why I give this movie high praise. All the cut scenes, even when they were fighting in the big battle, the cut scenes were done amazingly and woven in amazingly so you can understand everybody's motivation and everything that they were doing. I just thought that was, amazing for the movie. I really like this movie, except just one thing. Um, Next, the cast. I didn't know Sima Liu. I didn't know really the rest of the cast, but I thought the acting was top notch. Everything, you know, everything was great as far as acting wise, uh, choreographed. Now, one of the things that I know, well, one of the people that I know people love is Aquafina. I thought she was okay because she's kind of Aquafina in a lot of her movies. So she didn't actually bring anything different than what I thought she would, but she didn't do anything wrong. She just was who I thought she was going to be, which is cool. She didn't overact, she didn't underact. She gave every scene like how it was supposed to be given. So I had no problems with her. As far as Shang-Chi's dad, the Mandarin, whatever you want to call him, he was great. I think he's a big action star in Asia, so his acting wasn't bad. Everybody's was good. All the henchmen, uh, I forgot his name, but the old guy who played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, his was good. Which brings me to the fourth thing. The acting was good, but also the side characters were good. Even the guy with I forgot his name, with the arm, slicing arm, all the aunt's acting and performance and everything was good. It was a great uh performance all around for everybody, and the jokes landed. Usually in these Marvel movies, you get some really high jokes, like, okay, you laugh, and then you get the really low ones, and you're like, huh? But I believe most to damn near all the jokes, they landed well. They gave you everything they needed in that moment, and it was actually funny. And that's why I give Marvel props, and whoever wrote the script high praise. And how the movie looked was amazing. From the San Francisco scenes to the fighting scene to his mom's home base, Tay Lao, where she came from, everything was amazing. The creatures in the show reminded me of Pokemon in Tay Lao, and I know a lot of people said that. Everything was just wonderful with how it looked. Even the dragons, the big wall with the scale, the powers that Shang-Chi father was using and Shang-Chi using, everything was really well done. The CGI was great. And the score was good. All the all of everything built it up to, making a great movie. Everything that I've named up to this point, the fighting, which probably the best action in the MCU by far, but didn't have the best scenes. The best action scene, to my knowledge, and this is how I feel, was Thanos versus Doctor Strange for them 2 minutes where they were going back and forth. Until Marvel stopped that, I will never say anything's better than that. Even though Shang-Chi, they had a lot of good scenes. It was very close, but that's still, Doctor Strange versus Thanos is still the number one fight scene in the MCU. Now, I want to get to the bad. And there's only really three things that I see as the bad, but unfortunately, it's the big thing. The third act, specifically the fight between the dragon and the other monster. I forgot the name of it. It got too marvelly. To me, it was a big, gigantic Marvel cop out. I actually thought this could have been the best Marvel movie ever if they didn't have that big CGI monster fight with both of those creatures. This is what I believe. If the fight, if how the movie ended would have been whatever, but if it was just two regular human beings, Shang-Chi versus Father was the ending. To me, that would put it over the top of anything. Once it got to the CGI monsters, it kind of took me out because it was kind of long. And I'm like, all right, he's on the dragon's back. It's like, we've seen this before. You got two of the best fighters. It's like, you got to let them go mano y mano. That, to me, would have made it, put everything over the top. Best versus best. If he had to kill his father, fine. But the CGI monster fight was the biggest cop-out, and that's where it got marvelly. And that's why the ending did not land for me as much as the first half of the entire first half of the movie. Amazing. Everything amazing from step to step. And I don't know how many people agree with me, but once the dragon was added and once that monster came out and it was two monsters going up against each other, it just, everything up to that point felt, it was all right. I'm gonna be honest, the dragon fight wasn't even that memorable. The more things I remember was the fights between humans and him and his father. It's like you had a chance to do MCU history. Maybe I'm wrong, but that that's the reason why it's not a bad movie. It's a great movie, but that's why, for at least for me, it didn't land as well. I wouldn't know where I would rank it. It would be ranked very high over a lot of movies. But it was just the ending of that CGI monster fight. I said, okay, you had everything up until this moment. And it was a long fight. I remember sitting in the theater saying, okay, when is it gonna end? What's gonna be the move? But other than that, it's still one of Marvel's best. And it's good to see that Marvel is getting better. The story was fantastic. The fight scene on the bus, fantastic. Everything was fantastic up to that final, those final scenes. Um, and I don't know what they're gonna do for number two, but I can't wait. And I hope it's something spectacular and it ends in a better light. Uh, that's my review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.